So in this video, we're going to talk about how to fail as a sales leader, okay? Now, it's important to understand that when you're making mistakes, right, not to beat yourself up about it. Everyone's going to make mistakes. Everyone's going to have setbacks. Everyone's going to make failures. But at the end of the day, you cannot hold yourself to the level where you start beating yourself down, because making mistakes is part of success. Making mistakes is part of winning. Failing forward is the actual process of becoming successful. Okay, we're going to talk about that a little bit in this video. So if you've made some mistakes in your office, in your company, with your team, with your people that respectfully look up to you, there's a way to handle it so that people look up to you and they don't lose respect long term for you. Because I made this mistake where I've had failures and I made mistakes. And I didn't handle it the right way. And what ended up happening was that I started to lose respect for my team because I didn't handle that failure in the right manner. So we're going to talk about that today in the video, okay? So number one, when you make a mistake, you have to own up to it. You have to let your team know, hey, I made a mistake. It's my fault. Yada, yada, yada. Because at the end of the day, everybody knows that you're a human being. Everybody knows that you're going to make mistakes. But what they want to know is, are you smart enough to lower your ego and say, you know what? I made a mistake. And it's okay. As long as they know that you made a mistake, that's all they really care about. Because they don't really care about the actual mistake a lot of times. They just want to know that you made a mistake. And a lot of times we're trying to fight it and kind of let the ego get in the way. Like, we don't want anyone to know. But you have to calm down in that situation and say, you know what? I'm human. I made a mistake. And by you kind of deflecting and not talking about the mistake, you're thinking that they don't know about the mistake, but they know. All they want to do, and all they really want, is for you to acknowledge that you made that mistake and that you know that you messed up, okay? So it's very important to own up to the decisions that you actually make. The next thing is say sorry. It's like one of the most, there was a book I read by Richard DeVos, and it talks about the 10 most powerful phrases, and one of them was, I'm sorry. When you're wrong and you say, I'm sorry, you drop everyone's guard. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be number one. It's okay to make mistakes. And it's very important to say, I am sorry. When you say I'm sorry, people will respect you because they know that you're human. No one expects you to be perfect. Like, people think that leaders are supposed to be this perfect person. Oh my God, he's on the top of the pedestal. Nah, man. All they really care about is you just say, hey, I made a mistake. I apologize. And I'm so sorry. And as long as it's genuine and it's from the heart, they will forgive you and they're going to respect you way more than you trying to say, you know what, I didn't make a mistake, and trying to avoid it. It's very important to understand. And a lot of these things, to be honest, if you eliminate ego from this, most of the time you win, okay? The next thing is you have to have a no judgment zone, okay? What do I mean by that? You want to have an environment that you not only are making mistakes on your own, but you're letting other people make mistakes as well. Because if you're super tough on everyone and you don't let them slide and you're always beating them with the ugly stick, when it comes time for you to make a mistake, they're going to beat you down and say, well, you're holding me to that standard. Why don't you hold yourself to that standard? Okay. And I'm not talking about standards when it comes to, laws, rules, work ethic, whatever it may be. I'm talking about, don't beat people up when they're already beaten. The horse is dead. You don't got to keep beating it. All right. When somebody's messing up, they know they're messing up, there's no point of judging them and putting them down. Help them, serve them, and invest in them. And that's what, the no judgment zone is all about, because when you get into that situation, you don't want them to judge you because they're going to respect you and say, you know what? He cares about me. He loves me. I'm going to show him love and care back. Because when people make mistakes, their body language changes. They just feel weird. Like, think about the last mistake you made in the past couple of days, okay? It's weird. It doesn't feel comfortable. It's not awesome to make a mistake, but when you have a no judgment free zone, people will pat you on the back and say, no problem. It's okay. We still look up to you as our leader, okay? Next, talk about what you will do to fix it. Very, very important. I've seen a lot of leaders make this mistake where they make a mistake and they just say, I'm sorry, and that's it. But there's no plan. There's no solution. Every problem has a solution. And if not, you have to create the solution, which is why you're the leader. You're the leader because people look up to you. You're the leader because people respect you. They like you. So what you need to do is say, okay, I'm here. This is the problem, and here's a solution. And you need to tell them, this is what I'm going to do to fix it. I'm sorry I did X, Y, and Z. That's my fault. I take full blame for that. And I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to fix this situation so it doesn't happen again. And that's very, very important, because a lot of times when we just say, I'm sorry, even if it's from the heart and we don't have a plan, sometimes people will not believe you because, wait a minute. You said sorry, and this is not the first time you're saying sorry about some other stuff, but there's no, okay, you said sorry, now what? Now we're supposed to let you off the hook? So it's very important to just, apologize, of course, let them know what the problem is, and then, of course, have a solution on what you're going to do to fix it, all right? Next, never try to save face. What do I mean by that? Never try to save your face is basically saying, hey, don't worry about it, or ignoring the situation or deflecting. Like, stop trying to save your image. Just because you made a mistake, that does not ruin your reputation. It's very important to understand that. Just because you make a mistake, that does not make you a bad person. Just because you make failures in your business does not make you a bad CEO, leader, sales leader, whatever it may be. You are not a bad you if you made a mistake. Your only bad thing about it is the decision that you made. Okay, so the decision was bad. The failure was a problem, but you're not the big problem. It's not you as individuals. You need to try to save your face and say, well, if I let my team know I made mistakes and they know about it, it's going to ruin my reputation. Guys, we already talked about this. They already know you messed up. They already know you made a mistake. All they really want to hear is what? That you acknowledge you made a mistake. So don't try to save your face, because when you do that, they'll get defensive and they'll lose respect for you. Because people want to be led by leaders that acknowledge their mistakes and they're going somewhere. It's okay to make mistakes. It's just not okay to try to protect your ego 24/7. Nobody wants to be around a leader like that, okay? The next thing is, let people know that you're human. I know we talked about it a little bit in the video, but let people know that you are a human being, okay? You're not this guy on this pedestal. I made this mistake a lot of times where guys that would just meet me were like, oh my God, Michael. No, Michael, I'm just like you, man. I'm a human being. I shit like you. I eat like you. I put my pants on every single day the same freaking way. I dress like you. Like, I am just like you. I'm just a little bit more advanced in certain areas. I'm more experienced in certain things. I may have more knowledge in sales or X, Y, and Z, but it does not make me a better you. It does not make me a better me. It just means that I'm skilled in this specific area. And I'm human just like you. And I'm going to make a ton of mistakes. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make way more mistakes than you combined. Why? Because I want to fail forward. And that kind of environment breeds mistakes as long as you don't make the same mistakes twice, okay? Which is the next thing. Don't make the same mistake twice. For example, we go over all these things. You do all these things right, but you keep making the same mistake over and over and over, week in, week out. People are not going to take you seriously anymore. They're like, man, these guys all talk. And you don't want to be all talk with your team. Because the second they think you're all talk, you lost respect. So you make a mistake, fix it. You make a mistake, fix it. Make sure it doesn't show up again. Okay, and how do you do that? You work on yourself. You improve on yourself. You strategize, okay? You figure out, okay, what do I need to do to get to the next step? And you start educating yourself, which is what you're doing right now by watching this video on how do I become a better leader? Because the better leader you become, the more you can impact other people, okay? Very important. And the last thing is outshine. Outshine everybody, meaning go out hustle, go out strategize, go out improve, go outdo everyone around you so they forget about the mistake that you just made. You see, if that's the last thing they remember, they're always going to be kind of haunting you. And they're always going to be looking down at you. But if the last thing they remember is your new success here, your change here, your changes, your improvement here, they're going to forget about the mistake. You know how many mistakes I made in my career? Hundreds and thousands of mistakes. But the cool thing is that I never let the mistakes hold me down for more than a couple of minutes, couple of hours, or a couple of days, depending on the situation. I went straight to action, creating a new success, creating new results, because I want my team to know that I don't care about this mistake. I don't care about this failure. It's not going to hold me back. I'm going to improve. I'm going to get better. And as time goes on, when you outshine that mistake and you really show improvement, they will respect you. And that's what it takes to becoming a leader, because you have to learn that failure is inevitable. You're going to fail, but it's about failing forward and acknowledging your mistakes and going through the things that we just talked about in this video. So I love you guys, and hopefully you guys can share this video with someone that's going through this situation right now, that needs to learn how to fail forward, that maybe is going to learn how to fail in the future. Maybe share it with your team, and do me a favor, subscribe down below, because we're trying to get this account to 1 million subscribers. I know it seems far-fetched for you, but for me and for all of us, we believe in this cause. We believe in helping people when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to sales and building sales teams. So I love you guys. Have a good one, and don't forget to share with someone.